Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Storytime Live. This is Ash on Comics. I'm Ash. It's the middle of the night for most of you, and it's time to read a bedtime story. Thank you for being here. If you were wondering if there's a little audio glitch as soon as I kicked in the music, my Streamlabs crashed, which is, I don't know what you might have noticed on your side, but I was like, oh shit. So luckily, it's kind of a good thing that I do the music and things like that. Allows things to break while I'm not actually talking, and it's tough to talk and fix things at the same time. So, yeah, sorry about that if that was all weird. I think my graphics card actually did something weird because now my graphics are... They're fine. You don't care about this. Glad to see you guys. Hopefully you're back and ready to enjoy some Flash. We're doing the Flash Rebirth run from 2016 by Joshua Williamson, one of my favorite mainstream comic writers in the modern era. Very solid writer. And I'm not even a Flash fan, but I'm sort of getting into Flash more, ironically, as I watch the CW show, which, oh my God, it's like, it's a roller coaster and not in a good way. I'm like rubbing my temples right now. It's enjoyable in the same way like eating a McRib from McDonald's is enjoyable. You're like, oh yeah, it's tasty. And then after you're done, you're like, oh, why did I do that? Ah, man. Tonight's stream is brought to you by Stella Artois, imported Belgian lager. It's delicious. It's my last one. It's lasted a long time, though. A 12-pack. Got it on sale at the grocery store for $10.99. That's well worth its money. It's about the price of a comic book these days over at DC. Am I right? So, yeah, that's a thing. Are you guys still buying DC Comics with the upcoming price gouging that they're doing? I'm kind of curious how loyal people are going to be with that. Let's see who's here in the chat. Melissa Harris, of course, is first. Melissa Harris and Sons 3.0. Was that a new handle there, Melissa? Did you get booted off YouTube again? I don't remember the 3.0. But welcome. Eb Brewer's here doing the wrong Flash song, but the best Flash song. That's a great soundtrack. That Queen sound. If I could only have one Queen album, I would probably be the Flash soundtrack. I'm not a huge Queen fan, but I love that soundtrack. Especially that song. Let's see. My son Jake got a Hero Clicks for all the Flash Rogues. Cool. Let's see. My son, glad to be your friend, Ash. I'm proud to call you Professor Geek, both my friends. And everybody here, too. That goes for your boy, Zach, Nerdess, Newsstand, Yellow Flash, and I Love Comics. Let's see. I used to talk to Nerdette a lot more. We kind of grew distant when she became all popular. That's what happens to popular girls. They forget us little guys. Let's see. Lethal Lightning 2, you're all my friends. Hello, everyone. Let's see. All right, a lot of hellos. You guys don't want to hear me reading hellos. Marani is also in the house, and FF2. Flash is my personal favorite villain. Why? How is Flash your favorite villain? Am I missing something there? Anyways, good to see you, Marania. Good to see everyone. Hopefully you're ready for some comics tonight. Hopefully Flash is somewhat of an attraction. You never know when I do this stream, and I'm choosing, comics to read, and I wonder. It's like sometimes you'll put a certain book people all want to hear. Other times I'll put it in, it's like, and everyone tunes out. That's a really risky thing when I do an indie book too. So I don't know. There's different characters have different levels of popularity. I should probably. Oh yeah, I should set the timer. Sorry for the beeping in your ears. We got 30-minute timer. Storytime Live, for those of you maybe tuning in for the first time or what have you and not know what the hell's going on. Basically, this is just an opportunity for me and any guests that would like to jump on. There's an invite. This is kind of an open forum just to hang out and talk comics and stuff. This is for me, opportunity to read some stories to people at night. This started during the early days of COVID, and just read you a bedtime story type thing. And then also, just talk about whatever's on my mind. I guess me telling those things is my kind of a story as well. So you get to hear me, get to read some comics, get to hang out with each other. Everyone in the chat's usually a bunch of regulars, chit-chatting with each other about various things. Did you guys get new comics? I guess today's Thursday, but I may not have talked to you since that. I went to the store today and got some new books, including another copy of Geiger. There's a glow-in-the-dark cover of Geiger. So the girl that works at the store that I go to, which always treats me really good, she had it in my pull list, and she's like, "Here, you want this?" And I was like, "Oh, another I don't want another. That's like a cover of Geiger." I don't know what she's like. "It glows in the dark," and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I do." I was like, "Thanks for putting that in there," because I would have found out about like 2 weeks later, and then I would have been like, "Do you guys have this?" So she was looking out for me. That was pretty cool. So now I have glow-in-the-dark covers for Geiger and Noctera. So they're both fitting that they have glow-in-the-dark covers too. I'm going to have to check that out tonight and see what it looks like. The Noctera one isn't... The glow-in-the-dark part is not so amazing because it's really just the original cover. And the light parts, they kind of put the glow-in-the-dark paint. It looks all right. It looks okay. But it wasn't, you could tell that the cover wasn't designed with the intention of being glow-in-the-dark. It's kind of what I'm getting at. Or the Geiger one I have is a whole different cover than the main book. It's all new. And so I'm hoping that one, but I haven't tested it yet. But it looks like it might work better. We'll see. I'll give you a report. Are you guys into gimmicks like that? Does that ever weigh in on you when they do some funkiness in the cover? I come from the 90s where that was all that experimentation came from. Remember the Wolverine cover with the like cut out claw marks? I think there was one comic that had like a bullet hole through it. Those things. And of course, who can forget the original glow in the dark cover, right? Which was the Ghost Rider. I don't hate Ghost Rider, but I pretty much have zero interest in Ghost Rider. But I bought that Ghost Rider #1 because it was like a cool ass flaming skull cover that glue in the dark. I was like, of course. So I still have that. Remember the hologram covers? Those were a big deal. Those were pretty cool. Of course, the chrome covers. They did so many different things. I like them when they're done for like a special issue, like a #1. If you want to do a special, that's fine. If you want to do like a milestone issue, like, I don't know if I call 25 a milestone. I hate that that's become a thing. Like, oh, 25th issue. It's like, really? But 50, I'll let you get to 50 is good. 100 is better. And of course, 1,000, like, if you can get 1,000 issues, you do whatever the hell you want. As far as gimmicks, you deserve it, in my opinion. But I guess that's what I'm saying. I hate when it's just like, oh, look, issue 3, 50 variant covers, and like, just shut up. Anyways, yeah, tell me if that ever affects you. It only affects me, like I said, just for special cases, and generally only for comics that I'm very much into. It just so happens that I've actually very much like Noctera. It's on my pull list. Geiger's on my pull list too, but I didn't give the first issue that great of a review. But I'm trusting in Jeff Johns because Jeff Johns is really a good writer. So I'm basically discounting my own review of it. And I'm going, you know what, whatever. It's just the first issue. This is going to get better. Jeff Johns does not write garbage. And I'm sure he's not going to write garbage when it's his own personal book that he made up. It's not writing a DC character. He's Gary Frank's art. So when I'm a fan of something, when I like it, I'm willing to go more into it, if that makes sense. Let's see. Melissa says she changed it. My personal favorite hero. My pad messed. What? Melissa, I can't sometimes understand your comments, Melissa. I'm looking back at old runs like Wade's and John's run on the Flash. I heard Wade's run on the Flash was pretty decent. People liked it. God, this beer is just, you can just chug it. What would you say? Well, if you could pick a seminal run for Mark Waid, what would it be? What would you say? You know what I'm saying? Like, most like creators have like the thing that they're most known for. Like Jim Lee's most known for drawing the X-Men. Chris Claremont is most known for writing X-Men. Frank Miller most known for writing Daredevil. Well, he's not most known for writing Daredevil, but Daredevil is his most known. Well, that's probably his only run. He did 4 issues of Batman. I don't know if that counts. But yeah, I mean, he did his Sin City series, but I think Daredevil, what would you say that if Mark Waid had like that one thing that he was most, even if it's not most known for, like what's his best work, his most, I don't know what that is. Cause when Mark Waid became popular, I was kind of on a hiatus from comics. The Flash seems to be one that's always talked about. Ronnie says, nice how the thumbnail is coordinated color-wise. It's always coordinated color-wise, Ronnie. You're just now noticing. Ed says, of the popular rogues, I think Mirror Master is the most interesting. I don't know much about Flash rogues other than what I'm seeing in the CW. I'm at the part in the show where they're just dealing with Savitar. And the show's starting to get really weird. I don't like how everyone's getting powers. It's really annoying. It's like everyone on the show has powers. Oh, God. And it's bad enough that they took Iris West and they made her a character I hated when the show started. I was like, how do I watch this show when I fucking hate Iris West? It's supposed to be the love of Barry's life. And she's a total bitch. And by the way, you knew they were going to get together, of course, because of the comics and history. So what the writers totally broke it because they gave her a love interest ahead of Barry. So Barry is forever going to be sloppy seconds. Forgive my crassness there. But you know what I'm saying? Like, Iris may be the love of his life, but Barry is not the love of her life. And that was a really bad on the writing for her to have a boyfriend first, but the whole like Barry professes his love to her and she's like, sorry, I'm with this guy. He's my man. What was his name? Eddie Thawne. And where they had broken up. It was like, you know what? I realize you're not for me, Eddie. Take a hike. And then she ends up with Barry. That would at least be a little bit better. That would at least be a little bit better because she said, you're not the one. But unfortunately, they had Eddie die. Spoiler alert. So we're left hanging that this is the man she's going to, after he proposed to her. I'm like, he's a fiance. I was like, it's just, this is the shit that modern writers interject, and it's not better. It's not. Why do people want to see, not that this really is a dysfunctional relationship, but, it does have a measure of dysfunction, and it doesn't have to, I don't want to see that. Anyways, I'm ranting, so I'll stop now. Marvel's lenticular variant covers bothered me because they use them for normal issues, not special ones. Yeah, that's lame. I do like lenticular issues though. I got the Doomsday Clock one for issue 1. I got the Rorschach lenticular. I did like when they did the lenticulars where it was like the classic cover and then like the new variant of it. That's kind of cool use of those. FF2 says, I like special sort of covers for milestone issues. Yeah, cool. The book I want is not a flashy cover. It's the non-metallic version of Iron Man 300. They didn't make as many of those, and they're hard to find. Yeah, that's sometimes a cool thing. It's weird how collectors, though, don't really recognize that often, right? It's oftentimes, even though there'll be like a second or a third print of a comic that's much, much smaller print run of the first print will still be worth more. And you're like, well, but there's only 10% as many of the third print as there is of the first print. Shouldn't this third print be worth more? But that's the way collectors have decided. It doesn't always work that way. Sometimes there's some special things to it. I have to admit, I did do a little bit of speculating. I ordered a third printing of Berserker, the new Keanu Reeves book. Third printing of number 1. I ordered it because Boom Studios, hand it to you, Boom. You won me with your marketing. They announced that they were doing a limited edition of the third printing. It's only going to be limited to 10,000 copies, period. 10,000. Which, for a Marvel book, that's kind of like average. I'm making fun of Marvel. I love to mock more. # mock Marvel. 10,000 copies. But I was thinking about it, and I was doing the math in my head, and I'm like, that book sold so much that 10,000 copies of a certain edition, I think that actually makes it the second most rare version of that book outside of the 1 in 1,000 incentive variant. There's a 1 in 1,000 incentive variant, which of course is going to be the most rare. But considering that book sold, I think it had like 675,000 copies. I think of first edition, first prints. Obviously, it's going to sell more when all the second, third, fourth prints are all calculated in. But 600, let's say 650,000. If 1 in 1,000 would be 650, so that would be pretty rare. But I don't think, even the 1 in 100s, which would be a really rare variant, would be more. So, well, no, I guess that would be 6,000 copies, right? Anyways, whatever. It's got a different cover. So I pulled that same type of idea. It's like, this is going to be a hard to find version of the book later on. And I like that it has a unique cover, which will add some specialness to it. Let's see. Mark Waid is known for Kingdom Come. I don't count Kingdom Come because it's a miniseries, but fair enough. His Legion of Superheroes was good, but it definitely was a testing ground for his later Ignited comics. Don't tell me. I've heard Legion is good. Ignited is trash. I can't imagine. Legion was really a testing. You think it was testing ground for Ignited? But I have heard people say this Legion was pretty good. Yum, yum, yum. Sorry, I'm sitting there drinking in your ear. FF2 says he's going to have to say Flash for Mark Waid. Ed says Mark wrote Irredeemable. That and Kingdom Come are his best works. Runs, I don't know. Yeah, of course Kingdom Come is an all-time classic. I personally have some belief into the belief about the rumor, if you will, about he didn't really write. Gosh, I'm all tongue-tied here. Kingdom Come. Mark Waid. There's a rumor that Mark Waid wasn't the primary writer of Kingdom Come. That it was an Alex Ross wrote the story and Mark Waid wrote the script. Of course, no way to prove it. I'm sure if it's true, Mark's never going to admit it. So that's just the way that it is. One of the reasons a lot of people ascribe to that rumor is because Mark Waid's never come close to doing Kingdom Come again, right? So that's a big deal. You look at someone like say like Frank Miller, right? Dark Knight Returns, for the longest time, Dark Knight Returns was like the greatest comic ever written. But you would never, that rumor would never hold weight for Frank. You'd be like, oh, what, he wasn't, someone else helped Frank write that. Because, you know, you look and go, well, look at Batman Year One, look at his Daredevil Reborn, Born Again. You know, you look at these other books that Frank's did, and you're like, yeah, he's a fucking hell of a writer. Irredeemable is a book that I wanted to read when I got back into comics before I knew what a douche Mark Waid was. Irredeemable is one of the books I'd heard about because I did keep my ear around comics, and I like the premise of Irredeemable. Of course, now it's being done to death, but it's like everyone copies each other in comics. And now poor Mark, well, I don't want to say poor Mark Waid, but now that, say like Invincible has beat him to the punch, I don't think you'll ever see Irredeemable adapted, because isn't Omni-Man sort of, I don't want to say he's a carbon copy, but to audiences, they would look at it and be like, this Irredeemable is just like Omni-Man. It's like, so. Let's see. I stopped watching after Barry murdered Atom Smasher and Sand Demon and half his rogues. Well, are you spoiling shit for me, Melissa? What the fuck? God dang it. No spoilers. Let's see. FF2. It's weird how they let him be adopted by the West family. The Wests live in Blue Valley. Yeah, it really is actually very weird. Especially considering the choices they made, right? Because, like, Iris is his sister. So they made this weird, it's not incest because he's adopted, but it's still weird because their brother and sister grew up together, like, as kids. Like, I know that can happen in reality, and I wouldn't knock someone in real life if they did that, although it would be weird. But it's this TV fiction. You don't have to write it that way. You know, you have options, especially considering the source material is not that way. The choices that this show makes don't make sense to me. You know, I get that you wrote out real Wally West for Wally West 2.0 because you need more black people in the show. I mean, I can't even keep track of how many race swaps have been in the show already. There's at least 3. But in the comics, you have Wally West and you have Wallace West, and in the show, Wally West just doesn't exist, period. Except Wallace West is Wally West. I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever. Yeah. I don't know. And then the whole, like we talked about before with Iris just being, it's like sloppy seconds. Like, so it's not even, you're not even Barry's true love. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't need to be this way. It's like, this is not good. They should have had Barry living with. They should not have had Barry living with his family because they look like him as a brother, sort of. That negates the latter possibility of a love interest. Well, that's the thing, Marania, is that's how they were playing the first 2 seasons, was that Iris just looked at him as like a brother. Right? So Iris was not weird. Iris is like, no, you're my brother. I don't have romantic interest in you. Okay, that played out believable. And if you were an audience member who knew nothing of the comic books, you don't necessarily know that Iris and Barry are destined to be like type thing. So you're just like, okay, what? Like, but as a comic book fan, which is a lot of people watching that show, you're gonna be like, oh god, you know what's coming. So it didn't really work. Yeah, Waid was also good on his recent Doctor Strange runs. I hear people say that, but I also hear people say like Dan Slott's good on Fantastic Four. No one talks about these books. No one. The only time I ever hear like say like Dan Slott, praise for Dan Slott, is when I trash Dan Slott and I go, Dan Slott sucks. Oh, actually his new Fantastic Four is good. I'm like, No, it's not. Otherwise, everyone will be talking about it. This is not. Anyways, that's just my take. I haven't read it. I'm not a big Doctor Strange guy. Although, surprisingly, that's the MCU movie I'm looking forward to the most. So, take that with what you will. Was a testing ground because Wade's LSH leaned into more almost terroristic tendencies for the heroes, which is what he really pushed and ignited. Oh, yeah, gross. Mark Wade is irredeemable after his race baiting ignited. It was before what you were watching. Barry killed people before what I was watching? When did Barry murder half his rogues? He didn't murder his... I don't remember any episodes where he murdered his rogues. Let's see. Why does Flash need Star Labs when he's a forensic scientist? Well, number one, forensic scientists aren't actually like what Barry is in the show. Like, Barry is like this super scientist character. I'm like, no, dude. Forensic scientists study forensics. The scientist in there doesn't mean that they're actually like a scientist in the traditional sense. But forensics is itself a science. And so they learn about things like, basic chemistry and things like that. So they can understand toxicology. They can understand physics. It's like bullet impacts and things. These are all important for like deducing how a crime scene went down. Being able to take DNA from like hair samples or other flesh samples, saliva or whatever, blood, things like that. All of that sort of stuff. That's what forensics has to do with. But then in the CW, it makes Barry also able to like create complex astrophysics algorithms to do what you're just like, what? Come on. It's not Reed Richards. But why does he need Star Labs? Well, technically, Star Labs in the comic books is like the epitome of like science. Like, they're the most advanced like research facility, right? Like, so honestly, to me, it's just CW using that formula and putting what they do is there's this formula for TV shows of this type, and all they did was put the Flash kind of skin over it. And that formula is like the hero character and his supporting team. They've been doing this back since the 80s. Go look at shows like Knight Rider, right? Knight Rider is just like the Flash. You got your special little group organization. They work behind the scenes. And then you got your main character, the hero character, Michael Knight. He's got his supercar, Kit, and it's like he's got his organization. And he goes and he stops supervillains. It's the same formula. You just wrap it over and over. That's why Green Arrow's got his special team of people too. It works the exact same way. Go look at Supergirl. Oh, look, it's the exact same thing. She's got her little team of scientists. Every single one, it's the same formula. They just wrap a new, coat of paint on it. Because it's not really, they're not trying to do a show about that. They're trying to do a show about the formula and then just put the flavor of whatever comic book thing to capture that. Now, it's interesting because the new Superman show on CW is not following that formula. And I think that's part of the reason why a lot of people are gravitating towards it, because it's not the same rehash over and over formula. So we'll see how that goes. Dark Knight Returns is an overrated book. All right, Moranya, time to boot FF2. Dark Knight Returns is an overrated book? Are you kidding me? A lot of the groundwork has been built by Denny O'Neil to reach the Dark Knights we know and love. Oh my goodness. Look, I'm not going to discount Denny O'Neil. But look, Frank Miller, even Denny O'Neil would admit, I think he has admitted, as a matter of fact, that Frank Miller took Batman into the stratosphere. Did he stand on the shoulders of others? Of course he did. Even Denny O'Neil did as well. That's not the point, that other people came before him. But Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns is absolutely a masterpiece. Absolutely one of the best comics ever written, especially in the time that it was, right? There's a lot of people that have stood on Frank Miller's shoulders now, and we look back at Dark Knight Returns and go, oh, well, it's not as impressive as it once was because other people have learned from Frank Miller. But back in the mid-'80s, there was nothing in comics ever in the history of comics like Dark Knight Returns. Not even close. It's one of the most influential, if not the most influential comic of all time. For sure, Dark Knight Returns is not overrated. It's that important. Incest CW Flash, gross. He's got Batman in the Justice League. Writers do not read comics. The Flash has his own protect aura literally surrounds him and his clothes. I don't know if the writers don't read comics. I have a feeling some of the writers do, because a lot of TV writers get into like writing comics and things like that. But I have a feeling more it has to do with showrunners. And then, TV shows are written by committee. And Flash is also one of those shows you can tell. It's like up and down, because every episode is written maybe by different writers. So you can see certain episodes, you're like, oh, that episode was all over the place or weird. And then you come up to another episode and you're like, oh, yeah, that was actually pretty solid. Yeah, way different than like comic books where you have a consistent single writer that you're used to and delivers a consistent level of storytelling. Supergirl ruins Super Friends. Supergirl ruins Super Friends? I hate them calling themselves that. They are not the Super Friends. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are and more of the Super Friends. Well, CW doesn't have the rights, Melissa, to all the other characters and stuff, so that's just the way that is. It's like the whole thing with Flash right now. I'm in season 3. It's all Flashpoint this, Flashpoint, 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 Flashpoint. Well, in the comics version of Flashpoint's way different. Like, it affected the entire DC universe, led into eventually New 52. Like, huge. In the CW, Flashpoint is just like, oh, look, Cisco, your brother died. And in this history, he's not alive now. Oh, look, Caitlin, you're Killer Frost now. Like, there's some changes, but it's not a big deal. Like, but it's a bigger deal to Flash. Like, cause they Flashpoint, Flash. But they don't have the license to do what like they did in the comics. And that's why, like, the same thing with the MCU. Like, Civil War in the MCU is not like Civil War in the comics, because Marvel just had a handful of the characters. Wade's Tower of Babel is probably the best. It feels like a Mark Waid story. It is about character deconstruction, not only of the Justice League, but also of Batman 2. Okay, that says us to heal him. Tower of Babel. I'll put that in the memory. See if I can remember that. Let's see. CW wasted Project Chasms. Project Chasms work better in the DCAU. Well, I mean, you say that CW wastes things. I understand that they don't deliver on what you would hope that they could, but again, remember, they're working with a hand tied behind their back. They're trying to make the best at what they can with a handful of characters. So that's the only way I can really try to spin that. So all right. I hate when stuff doesn't work behind the scenes. Work, damn you. All right, so here we are. ComiXology, my favorite place to be, where I read you comics every night. And let's see what they have on sale before my time runs out. How much time do we have, by the way? Oh, it's about to run out. We got a Marvel Ironheart sale. Do you see that someone posted on Twitter today? There was was it today or yesterday? Anyways, people are up in LA. There's a billboard about bringing back Iron Man, like for the MCU, like bring Iron Man back to life, and it's getting a lot of different responses. because some people are like, oh, whatever, like, just go read the comic. Like Tim Seeley posted, he's like, why don't you just read the comics, And then I responded to Tim as like, well, if the comics didn't suck, why on earth would you expect people who watched the MCU and loved the Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man to be like, oh, this is great, I'm going to go read comics? That would be great if the comics were awesome. But what's going to happen is you're going to get people who've never read the comics. They've only seen the MCU. They go in a comic book store. They pick up current Marvel Iron Man, and it sucks balls. And they're like, ugh, I paid how much for this shit? Fuck that. I'm going to go back to doing whatever I was doing. And guess what? They're never going to buy a comic book again. So, yeah, it's anyways. So, and other people are like, well, why bring back Iron Man when we got Riri in the wings? And I was responding, if there was ever a better reason to bring back Iron Man. No, I said what did I say? I said some questions just answer themselves. It's like, yeah, before Riri gets here, bring back Iron Man. Let's see, Dawn of Exhale. So in case you want to read this series that's just going to make you want to vomit, you can go buy that on a discount. I do recommend, if you're going to pay to read shit, pay little. Oh, look, a DC Harley Quinn sale. If you're a big Harley Quinn fan, this is the one I would recommend. Was it this one? Can't remember which one it is. I think it's the Mad Love. That's the one. Anyways, who cares? I'm not a Harley Quinn fan. I don't know why I'm there. If you are a Harley Quinn fan, then you know where to go. I just like informing you of deals. They may interest you, they may not interest you, but you can't walk away saying, oh, damn, I wish Ash would have told me. I would have totally loved to have picked that up. Let's see. All right, that's it. And there's no humble bundles going on lately. One final thing before we get in the book. I noticed this today, and I mention it because it's a manga, and it's a video game, but it's a manga. It's up my alley. And it's a superhero, so it's like comic books. So it's kind of related. If you don't like My Hero Academia, shame on you. No, honestly, everyone has their own taste. I love My Hero Academia. I think these characters in this show are charming. They're endearing. I think that's a more appropriate or accurate term. They're endearing. This is the main character. This guy. This is the main character, Izoku Midoriya, aka Deku. He's the show's focal point. It's a huge ensemble cast of characters. As you can see, a couple down. Oh God, this scroll thing. Down here at the bottom, I can't really, the way this page is set up. Anyway, there's a bunch of characters. There's a character for everyone, really. Like, they do a really good job of having many different diverse personalities, but also different motivations. Midoriya is the ultimate, like, idyllic, is that the right word? Idealistic hero, aspirational hero. He doesn't have any, like, effed up shit in his life that makes him want to be a hero. He's not like Spider-Man, let his uncle die, and now he wants to. He's not. He's just a kid who's honest and good and just has a drive within him to help people, despite the fact that he doesn't have powers. And that's kind of the big hook, because the premise of My Hero Academia, for those that don't know, is that it's a special world that the creators came up with, where some event happened, and now it's a little bit in the near future, and 80% of the world's population have developed some sort of superpowers, right? Imagine like mutantum in the Marvel universe just gone amok crazy, like where 80% of the world was mutants. Now, the thing is most people who have powers have very nominal powers, like they can change their hair colors or something stupid. Like, a lot of powers can be very useless, but some of the people have very powerful powers or useful powers. And, because humans are humans, some people do good, some people do bad. Heroes, police aren't equipped to just deal with people with superpowers. So heroes have been made like an official thing. You get a license and you can start up your own hero firm, you know? So it's kind of like being a lawyer, right? You get a license to be a lawyer, practice law. You have to get a license to practice it. You can have a firm and you can go out and fight crime and so forth, and do that. So now, just like law, you got to go law school. You go to hero school, and that's hence the name My Hero Academia. The character Izuku Midoriya dreams of becoming a hero. He doesn't have powers, but he wants to get into this top school called UA, and yeah, you can see. And they call them quirks in the show. They're not. That's the brand of, you know. Despite being a quirk, he still dreams of becoming a hero, even though he's timid. His will to save others is stronger than anyone's. His encounter with All Might changed his fate. And so All Might is basically Superman of the world. And yeah, anyways, so you're like, Ash, why are you just even talking? Blah, blah, blah. You just go on forever. You're right. I'm sorry. There's a mobile game coming out made by Sony. It's going to be on Apple and Android devices, and you can pre-order it, and you get freebie stuff. It's a free game, so I thought I'd bring it to people's attention. I pre-ordered it. I'm going to check it out because I'm a fan, and I like superhero stuff, and I like mobile games. So there you go. Come join it. Come play with me, and we'll have a fun time maybe. Or maybe it'll suck, and then we'll go, remember that stupid My Hero Academia game that Ash wanted me to get? That thing was stupid. No, I don't know. It's not out yet, but it'd be cool way to play with each other and have fun. Let's see. Let's get into The Flash. All right. Now, last episode, I read the special DC Rebirth #1 one-shot that introduced you to the character, get you up to speed. This is #1 of the actual run, which is going to be Lightning Strikes Twice as a story, and we shall begin. Several years ago, on the night of the storm. We can't let a killer back on the streets, Barry. I'd never ask you to set your mother's case aside. It's just that the DA is going to let my brother's murderer walk, and my gut is telling me Billy Parks is the guy. I promised my mom and dad I'd get another set of eyes on the evidence, and... August, it's okay. Of course. I'll help you. Your brother was a good cop. If there were more like him in Central City, my dad might not be in prison. Listen, I'll do my best. Come back after your shift and we'll look at the results together. I know you'll find something, Barry. I'll never forget this. I owe you. Don't mention. What is... Crack. Barry? What happened? Are you... Barry? Officer down. Officer down. Call an ambulance now. You're going to be okay. Help is on the way. My name is Barry Allen, and I'm the fastest man alive today. Someone has affected reality, taking 10 years of our lives and memories from us. But I can't help but smile because my best friend Wally West is back. And now he's working with the original Teen Titans to see if he can find out what has happened to us. That affecting reality thing is the whole New 52. Just for those of you that may not be up to speed. As far as my understanding, if I'm ever wrong about anything, which I have been before, correct me if I'm wrong. I like to not be wrong. But as far as I understand it, what he's referring to is the New 52. That's why New 52 is 10 years. Anyways. But Batman and I already have our suspicions on what was done to our world. But we decided it was best we keep our findings to ourselves until Wally gathers more evidence. I wish I could do more, but I can only investigate a crime if I know where the crime scene is. Wally was the Flash for years without me. so I trust him on his own. Except I'd be lying if I said I don't miss having a partner running by my side. Wally being with me was just for a few moments was bittersweet. Thankfully, I have more than enough to keep me busy. The night I was hit by lightning and doused in chemicals, it created the speed force, allowing me the speed to be where I'm needed. But I'm not always fast enough. Tornadoes down. Flash, you did it. Everyone's safe. A little shaken up. But it could have been worse if not for you. I'll start to rebuild their homes. Get these families back to their normal lives. Sorry, but we can't let you do that. Not until the survey team comes to make sure it's safe. Are you sure I could? Nothing else you can do right now. We got it from here, Flash. But I really wanted to say, whoosh. Thank you. I didn't know it was a girl right away, so I read the voice like a male. Because in the real world, firemen are men. Yes, I know there's some female firefighters, but they're kind of rare because it's a very physical job. But in comics, you know how it goes. Anyways, moving on. Sorry. I can never stay one place too long. Not with so much to be done. Central City is a busy community, always on the move. It's my home, where I'm a forensic scientist for the police crime lab. I'd say I love my job, but it was already too late. Sorry, I know I'm late, sorry. Knowing you're late doesn't help the victim, Alan. Our DOA was a Star Labs guard whose family would like answers. The security footage, Director Singh mentions the guard's family as if I wasn't already thinking about them the moment I walked into the room. I don't know the guard, but that doesn't matter. He's more than just a body on the ground. Someone loved him. And I'm sure they'll get the closure they need. I'll make sure they get the closure they need. You know Barry's not listening to you. He always makes that face when his head is going a million miles a minute. I'm pretty sure the crime scene isn't going to go away, Singh. So lay off on a guilt trip. You know nobody cares more about justice than Barry. Thanks, August. I'd shake your hand, but you don't want to contaminate the evidence, I remember. He's all yours then, Detective Hart. Now let's see those Barry Allen skills. What can you tell me about this case that I'm not seeing? Well, the thieves wanted us to think this was a simple smash and grab, but it clearly wasn't. And you know this how? See these containers that were left untouched? The contents of those are deadly, and if they're exposed to air, they knew which containers not to smash. I'd say you're looking for someone who has some kind of science background. I'll be damned. Good job, Barry. But something about this is bugging me. It's a feeling in my gut. You and your gut. Hey, you got your big brain, and I got my gut. Quite the team. We'll probably work together more now that the captain switched me back to the day shift, but honestly, Barry, after what happened to my brother, if it weren't for you, I'd have totally lost faith in the system. I'm sorry I didn't help more. Hold that thought. Star Labs wants a police escort for one of their transports today, and yours truly pulled the short straw. And I'm late. Damn it. You're late? Ha! Thought I was the only one who was always late too. Oh no. Iris. I told Iris I'd grab lunch with her and nephew Wally at Jitters to help him with the school project. I'll cover for you, Barry. Wouldn't be the first time. Kristen, are you a full CSI now? When did you get promoted? I haven't been an intern for months, but you never noticed me before. Why start now? Barry, Iris, nephew, school project? Right. Thanks, August. You better hurry. Jitters is all the way uptown. I should have stayed and helped Kristen with the scene. Iris would understand. But ever since my old protege, Kid Flash, returned, I've been trying to spend time with the other Wally West in my life. Wow, Jitters is even more elaborate in the comic than it is in the CW show. Holy crap. Hey, sorry I'm late. What's so funny? You had to be there. No worries, dude. We haven't ordered yet. So, Wally, Barry is not just the best crime scene expert in Central City. He's also the smartest guy I know. Iris said you need help with the science paper, Wally? Thanks for the offer, Barry. But I actually got that assignment done a few days ago. I was able to finish it quick. Oh? Well, if you ever need... Stop that. Stop what? Feeling sorry for yourself? I'm not. Barry, it's me. What's the case? You know I can't discuss police business with you. Fine. Off the record. I promise I won't write a story about... I don't want to talk about it. You know, saying I don't want to talk about it is just going to make her push harder, right? It's not just one case. It's actually... My caseload itself has been a lot lately. I want to do as much as I can, but it's a challenge. You always do this, Barry. You never let yourself vent. It's okay to vent sometimes. I feel like I can do 9 out of 10 things right, but missing that one last thing makes the rest not count. Are you thinking of quitting? No, I'd never quit. I wish I could do more. It doesn't take a genius to see that the crime lab depends on you. But why don't you ask Singh for help? The whole lab is already working overtime and staying late. We're all doing the best we can. Why? Because everyone deserves justice. Barry, my mom used to tell me that some people try so hard to do everything that they end up doing nothing. I hate to say it, but that reminds me of you. You're late, absent-minded, and overwhelmed because you never make any time for any one thing, Barry. I never thought of that like that before. I'm glad I have a friend like you, Iris. Friend? Pfft. You two are worse than the kids at my school. What does that mean? We're not... Yeah, okay, sure. How do you like living with your Aunt Iris, Wally? It's cool. She's lucky to have me to take care of her. Okay, smart guy. She's friends with the Flash, so that's an automatic win in my book. Really? Well, I work with... Woo! Oh, it must be something major if that many fire trucks are headed out. I'll be right back. I should call the station to see what's up. Take your pick. It says online that there's an apartment fire on 4th, and then there's a Star Labs transport under attack on 22nd. Iris is right. I know she is. The Speed Force gives me my speed, but I still can't be in 2 places at once. But I have to try. Being part of being a hero is making hard choices. The fire? Or the Star Labs transport? I can do both. Star Labs has denied us what was ours for too long. The contents of that van belong to us. The apartment is on the way. I just need a minute. No time to do anything fancy. Just grab the people before they get burned. The Star Labs transport has a police escort that can hold off the attack until I get there. What do you want to do, August? Don't try to take them on. Our guns are doing nothing to their armor. Just get the civilians out of here. Get out of the van if you all value your life. Please, don't. You will obey, Dr. Carver. Hey, take me instead. A cop always makes a better hostage. Almost. It's taking me longer than I predicted to clear the building, but this should be the last of... My children are in there. We're not in the business of hostages. We just came for what is rightfully ours. No one needs to die because of a science experiment. Science is mankind's greatest weapon, officer. I take it I have you to thank for that Star Labs break-in this morning? Indeed. But that guard got in our way, just as you are now. Your death will provide us a welcome distraction from my escape. Hands in the air. Nah, not for you. Wait, that symbol on your chest. I've seen it before. You're safe, kids, and we gotta run fast. Wasn't that fun? Everything's gonna be okay. That symbol was spray painted near my brother's crime scene. Who the hell are you? The fire crew and Rain can deal with the flames. I still have to help Star Labs transport. August. We are the black hole. Click. I'm all ready to late. No. Shack. I never told anyone this, not even Wally. But when I was hit by the lightning, time slowed down and my life flashed before my eyes. I also saw all the things that I would never get to do. Solve my mother's case. Free my dad. A life unfulfilled. I told myself that if I got a second chance, that I'd do everything in my power to make sure that what happened to my family never happened to anyone else. That's why I try so hard to do as much as I can. And then time started up again. It was a lot like what I'm feeling now. The thing is, it isn't me this time. What's happening to me? Uh-oh, another speedster. That's Flash. Legion of Flashes. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Man, where did I leave off? Well, I just got to pick a spot because I don't know. I should highlight it and mark it. FF2 says, I'm waiting for you to read Berserk. Well, I don't mean to be rude or flippant, but you might be waiting for a long time. I don't have that on the near list, but it is on the bucket list. I will try it. Let's see. I love My Hero Academia and One Punch Man and Astro Boy and Speed Racer, Voltron, Lupin, Inuyasha, and Case Closed, Wolf's Rain, Yu Yu Hakusho, Digimon, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not a big fan of the latter stuff. I've watched like half of the series of Wolf's Rain, and I really want to finish it, but I can't find it anywhere. So it's been like forever. I need to start over, but I was like, where can I watch this? I'd like to see that again. Astro Boy is old school classic. It's a kid show from the 60s. I respect it. Same with Speed Racer in that respect. It's not for me today. Interestingly enough, I like the Speed Racer movie by the Wachowski used to be brothers. Can I call them that? Can I call them the Wachowski used to be brothers now that they're both trans? And how likely is that, by the way? The likelihood of one person becoming trans, but then your sister or your brother also, yeah, it seems to go against the concept that this is just a natural occurring phenomenon and not psychological in some way. I'm not going to get into that whole thing. I'll get my YouTube canceled because someone's going to hear me and be all offended and how dare you talk about concepts. Anyways, my son likes Frog Girl. Yeah, I like her. I didn't like her at first, but she really grew on me. Melissa, did you ever see Kim of the White Lion? I have not seen that. Let's see. Anyways, I was talking about the Wachowski brothers. I'm just going to call them the Wachowski siblings. You know, Matrix is one of my favorite. Well, yeah, it's up there in the top favorite movies of all time. And I'm not one of those people that hates the stupid. Sorry. I'm not one of those people that hates the sequels. There's a lot of people like, if the sequels are stupid. They're not. I think they're all three are brilliant films. I think the Matrix sequels are one of the most most unfairly maligned films in history. I just think a lot of people didn't understand what they were watching, so they thought it was stupid, which is fine. I mean, you can like or dislike whatever you want, but I love them. The Wachowskis are super talented filmmakers, in my opinion. One of the other, I don't know if it's like one of my favorite movies, but one of the best movies that I've ever seen. Just another example of brilliant filmmaking is Cloud Atlas. It's another Wachowski film. And their adaptation of Speed Racer might be one of the best adaptations ever. I still think 300 is the best, in my opinion. Like, not necessarily the best movie that is an adaptation, but the best accomplishment of adapting a source material like a comic book or an anime or what have you. Speed Racer is not the best film I've ever seen, but I don't know. There's very few adaptations of, like, especially anime that have been done more, have been done in a better, like, fashion. That film is a brilliant, another unfairly, a lot of people just don't get the Wachowski brothers, I don't think. I called them the brothers again. That's how I've known them that way. Like, it's hard to change your mindset. Lupin the Third is fun. Yeah, Lupin the Third is fun. Have you ever seen Castle Cagliostro? That was my introduction to Lupin the Third, and also my introduction to my favorite anime filmmaker, which is Hayao Miyazaki. I love Hayao Miyazaki. Talk about brilliant filmmaker. He started off in his early days. He did, a property that wasn't his. Was Lupin the Third, just Castle Cagliostro. Good movie. And then, of course, all the movies that came later are even better. But everyone should see Hayao Miyazaki's films. If you're not sure, like, what are you talking about, Ash? Spirited Away is one of the most notable ones. It got Best Picture, Best Animated Feature. Should have got Best Picture. Princess Mononoke is a good one. My Neighbor Totoro, Kiki's Delivery Service, Castle in the Sky, Wings Over Nausicaa, Howl's Moving Castle. There's more. I'm struggling to remember them off the top of my head, but yeah, he's just masterful filmmaker, and you can watch with your kids. That's a great thing too. It's not like violent stuff. People have called him the Japanese Disney. Yeah, he's master. Anyways, Barry got zapped to hell and back. That would hurt like hell. Tom King, Rorschach, mock Frank Miller. I heard about it. I heard about that too. I can't speak on it because I just heard about it. That's unfortunate if he did that. Several years ago, I think it was back in 2017, Tom King was on a panel with Frank Miller and some other writers. It was a Batman panel at the New York Comic Con. You can find it on YouTube if you're interested in watching it. Just look up like Batman, Frank Miller, Tom King panel, something like that. You'll find it. It was a New York Comic Con 2017, and Frank Miller just made Tom King look stupid. Like, not on purpose, but it was just like Tom King was. It's so cringy because it's like Tom King. He'd be asked questions and he would talk. It's like, dude, you're in the presence of a legend, right? And this is 2017. He'd only been writing Batman for a short time. Now, he was super popular and his Batman comic was selling quite well. But not on the level of like Frank Miller. Like, dude, you are like small potatoes. You selling 120,000 copies of Batman is phenomenal for 2017. But this is the guy who revolutionized the character. This is the guy who took the character, was doing languishing in sales and doing almost nothing, and turned him into the icon that we know today. Anyways, you got to see it. I'm not going to do it justice, but I have a feeling, I think our boy Zach did a video about this, and I think he had a theory that, this was Tom King's way of getting back or something. It's like, sadly, I could believe it, but I honestly don't know. It's all hearsay. Let's see. Ed says, I wonder how much a cup of coffee costs in that joint. Oh, yeah, it's a Jitters, right? What the hell? Where's ever seen a coffee shop like that? Ed says, where's the action, yo? Calm down, Ed. Jeez. Starting to sound like Dragon Ball. Where is Dragon Ball anyways? RDV is in the house. Well, welcome back, RDV. Haven't seen you in a while. He says, this series was a quick read. The action picks up. I imagine so. Death Note anime was boring to me. Oops, I think I scrolled down too far. I hate when that happens. Let's see. The Wallace scenes were always a drag. Yeah, Wallace is... I don't know Wallace in the comics. I'm a Flash newbie, right? I know Flash from like Justice League and like I read like the Periphery books, but this is the first time really diving in. Well, that's not that. I have read some previous Flash books, but not a lot. And I've read like earlier ones. So the stories I've read didn't have Wallace and stuff like so. And so all I know is the CW, and I don't like. I was saying this earlier, and I think I got distracted like I always do. Iris West. It was a character like I hate. It's like hard to watch the show because I hated her. And then they introduced Wallace West, which they don't. Wally, pinching my temples again. Facepalm. I hate that character too. the only good character, ironically, is Harrison Wells. Like, and he's designed to be an asshole. And now they're on the third Harrison Wells. And I was making a joke, and I was like, are they just going to do like every season a new Harrison Wells? Because we're on season 3, and this is the third version of the character, which is interesting for the actor. Like, every time he gets to every season come back and like reinvent the character. And I hated this new one. I was like, oh God, this character is cringy, but I'm like starting to get to like him a lot, which is a red flag because now I know he's going to turn out to be evil or something, like, because you can't have good things. That's how that works. Let's see. How is Wallace still related to Iris? Is he Wally's half brother or cousin? Wallace isn't related to Iris. Wallace is adopted, as far as I understand. I believe in the comic, and this sucks because CW confuses me on all these things. I believe, unlike the TV show, in the comics, Wallace is an adopted character. And that's how he's related by that way, I think. Someone can correct me in chat if I'm wrong. Let's see. Flash new episodes are out. They are not as good as season 1. Well, geez, I'm on season 3 and they're not as good as season 1. Flashpoint is Barry's greatest failure, just like Jason Todd is to Batman. Yeah, I guess. I was about to say, I don't know if Jason Todd's a failure, but yeah, I guess he is a failure to Batman. Yeah, you let Jason actually, that's a good point, Melissa. The more I think about that, Batman fucking did Jason Todd wrong. And he continues to do him wrong, which is really a discredit to DC and the writing staff, because that's actually not Batman. Batman should be trying to fix this, I think. Yeah. Whatever. They effed up Damian now, so screw DC. They're just fucking everything up. I don't even care anymore. Let's see. Anyone know any good horror movies or books? Well, we had a conversation on my Discord last night with Jimmy, and I recommended to him a book called The Passage by Justin Cronin, and it is a horror / post-apocalyptic epic. So yeah, maybe that. That's a book I recommended to him. Let's see. Speed Racer original was better. Maybe. Netflix is doing another god-awful Death Note film. Let's see. Death Note anime was boring to me. I never watched it. Didn't look like my cup of tea. My DVD of Speed Racer is technically a collector's item since it lists the Wachowskis as the brothers. Oh, look at that, Maranya. Do you have any Matrix DVDs that are that way? That's wow, ooh. Because I'll bet you, yeah. Because I have the Blu-rays, and I'm sure on the Blu-rays, they're the Wachowskis. I think they just went by the Wachowskis. Jimmy is in the house. He says, "Hey guys, I just finished I Am Legend. It was my favorite ending I've ever read." Well, that's pretty impressive. That's a good sign, I guess. Endings are very important. I really respect good endings. Fortunately, you can't tell me about it because it would spoil it, but I'm glad you like the ending. It's hardest part of writing is a good ending. Many good writers fall apart because they can't stick the landing. Let's see. Jimmy says, that's why I think Frank Miller would be a fantastic editor at DC. I don't know. I don't know if Frank has I don't know. I think to be an editor, you need to be a little bit of a ball-busting kind of... You need to be, I think, a little bit more... Well, hold on. to keep your job today, this is not going to hold true. To be successful like you were in the past and what editors used to have to do, I would say you need to be a little bit more. And I'm not really, but I kind of am putting myself up, propping myself, but that's not the point. You need to be like me. You need to be willing to be like, yo, dude, you suck. You know, like not say you suck, but you need to be willing to be direct and not like tiptoe around people's feelings. Like, oh, he's not going to like me if I do. And tell them how to fix their shit. And you need to know how to fix their shit. I think Frank Miller is very much just a lone wolf. He just has his visions and he's like, I'm going this way. You guys do whatever you want. Like, I don't think he's interested in telling people what to do. But that's my opinion. I don't know. I would love to sit down and talk with him. That'd be great. Have a drink with Frank Miller. Frank gave us the goddamn, wait. Oh, yeah. Melissa, like, you type in shorthand. I have to, like, interpret your type, like, what you're saying. Frank Miller gave us the goddamn Batman meme. And it's one of the greatest memes ever. Let's see. Wallace's Uncle Danny is black in the comics. Apparently he's still Iris' nephew in the New 52. Okay. The whole Flash family thing is so complicated. I was reading a wiki thing on it. My head was spinning. I was like, but I do remember seeing something about Wallace being adopted by some of the West family, of which Iris is connected to, so it makes a cousin, and yeah. Let's see. Jimmy says, bro, he made Tom King look like a fool. He has it in him. Yeah, but your job as an editor is not to make people look like a fool. Your job as an editor is to make people look is good, to bring out the best in them. Like, yeah, I mean, he clowned. He clowned Tom King, but I don't think anything he did made Tom King better. If anything, if the rumor is true, he's actually worse because now he's putting Frank Miller in his comics and he's all unhinged. Like, I don't know. You skipped my funny Frank Miller quote. I did. Let's see. I can't read everything. And Melissa, as I love you being here, I do, and I love you. Type as much as you want, comment, but I just understand I can't I can't read every comment, especially if you're typing a ton of comments. I have to parse them. I'm sorry I missed your Frank Miller. I'm scrolling through and I don't see it. I'm sorry. Danny hid that he was Black Wally's father. I'm too confused. I can't even. I'll have to learn it in the comics when it comes by. Speaking of which, one thing I liked about this Flash series, which I didn't buy for I bought them, but I didn't buy it for myself. I bought it for my friend's daughter because she's a Flash fan. And the idea was that I would read them someday, you know, but I'm sure she'd let me read them if I asked. But I got them on Comixology right now, so I can read that way. I really like the covers. I really like this cover. I wouldn't want to see every comic be this way, but it's it feels very modern, but not in a bad way, right? It's adopting some of the manga styles, but not 100%. You know, you can see the art in the background with Flash is very traditional, and yet this guy right here looks like he's kind of pulled out of a manga. So, and it's just very dynamic, and it's eye-catching, and that's why I used it for the thumbnail over issue number 1. But there's a lot of good covers, and then the alternate covers were fantastic too. Let's get on to the second issue. Star Labs, Central City. This should be impossible. Try spinning your arms really fast to create wind vortexes, like mini tornadoes. Whoa, whoa, whoa. My friend Detective August Hart was stopping a group of science terrorists called the Black Hole from ripping off a Star Labs transport, but he was struck by lightning, and now it seems he has access to the Speed Force. Thankfully, no one saw August get hit by the lightning, or defeat Black Hole using super speed, but we need to get you to Star Labs. No doctors. This is scary enough as it is without feeling like someone's lab rat. You need tests to check that you're okay. Can't you run them yourself, Flash? What doctor knows these things better than you do? And so here we are. The least I can do is see what effect the Speed Force is having on August. Whew, okay. That was weird. We're just getting started. You can run in circles to create a tornado? Don't you ever get dizzy? Oh, I read that wrong. This is the letter being super clever. I kind of appreciate it, but it made the word balloon weird. You can see the little zoo. It's clever, but it's not. it's not a. It's better if you're reading it in your head. You can autocorrect way simpler than when reading out loud. Anyways, back to the story. You can run circles to create a tornado. Don't you ever get dizzy? Or even vibrate so fast that you can change your frequency and phase through walls. Yeah, no. What if I got stuck? Okay, let's try running. Run, August. How fast are you? Crash. You're lucky the Speed Force provides a friction cushion that protects you from some of the more minor incidents. I don't think I can do this. It's too much. Listen, it's all baby steps, trust me. It's good to take it slow. You know, it's funny. My friend Barry, he got hit by lightning just once, just like I did. Oh? Did he? Yeah, I mean, what are the odds, right? 1,000,000,000 to 1. Of course, you know the odds. What I'm trying to say is that Barry is a really good friend. So I want you to know that I appreciate what you're doing for me here, Barry. I think you're confused, Detective Hart. Barry, it's okay. Your secret's safe with me. The Flash helps people. I know that. I know you. You were there for me when my brother was murdered. I never forgot that. You being the Flash, well, it just makes a lot of sense. It's great knowing the world has someone like you as the fastest man alive, Barry. You have to understand, I have a secret identity to protect my family and friends. I have a secret identity to protect my family and friends, just like you're going to need one too. Barry, I've been a major crimes detective for 6 years, and I've always been in danger. It didn't stop me from going after the heavy hitters. And besides, I don't really have the body to wear the getup you run around in. August, I'm not saying you need to be a hero, but these powers come with... Can we talk about this over some burgers and fries? I suddenly have the munchies real bad. Your metabolism has gone through the roof. You're going to burn fuel a lot faster than you used to. You'll need to be careful. Come on, let's get you some carbs. Can we walk? I'm not training August, just testing him. The lightning giving August powers can't be coincidence. but I'd forgotten how much I enjoyed teaching about the Speed Force. Like it was something I meant to do. My name is Wally West. Woo, woo. And just because I'm not a hero doesn't mean I can't have fun with the powers. I'm gonna beat my top speed. I just need to hit this one last... Ha ha. Dang. So close. Just have to get up and try again. It always feels like the powers are fading away, so I want to enjoy them as much as I can. But what if I get hurt? And then what would Aunt Iris do? With everything that happened with Uncle Daniel, she'd freak if she found out I had speed powers too. And Iris has enough things to worry about. What makes you think I know anything about the break-ins, Miss West? Please, call me Iris. Yesterday, a group calling itself the Black Hole broke into Star Labs and attacked one of your transports. Why would I tell a reporter anything? Because the Star Labs guard was killed by Black Hole. I'm sure you knew him. Don't you want to see his death get the attention that it deserves? Listen, off the record, okay? Last year, a few scientists were fired from Star Labs, and they were not too happy about it. The lab leader's name was Dr. Carver, and he was running tests on something that is off limits. But now you gotta go. Thanks. Who was that? Nobody, sir. She was just lost. Hey, it's me. Tell Dr. Carver we have a problem. Central City PD. Who taught you how to use your powers? Nobody. I'm pretty much self-taught. It took a lot of practice, but the amazing thing is that I learn new things about the Speed Force every day. That's awesome, but I don't know if I need all of your fancy science, Barry. I can just punch criminals at super speed now. Not every problem can be solved using your fists, August. I guess you two were hungry, huh? Thanks for asking, guys. Those Star Labs crime scene results, Forrest. Sorry, the Star Labs crime... God, I hate when I shouldn't drink beer before I read. I think it makes my tongue all... Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Take 3. Those the Star Labs crime scene results, Forrest? Yep. Kristen and I ran the data that we could on the Black Hole's theft on the Star Labs. We got nothing. But I managed to convince Star Labs to give us a list of what was stolen. I thought maybe you could make sense of it, Barry. Director Singh has been dodging the captain, but we need to get some answers soon. Thanks, Kristen. We should revisit the Star Labs break-ins. See if we can pick up any evidence that we might have missed that leads us back to the Black Hole group. Do we even need evidence? What? What do you mean? The Speed Force. It's a gift, Barry. I can just race around Central City and check every building until I find Carver and Black Hole. See what their connection is to my brother's death. Not without a search warrant. Barry, the things we could do with these powers. The criminals we could stop. The people we could save. Think about your mother's death. My brother's. Jorge was my idol growing up. The reason I became a cop. But he was shot down in the line of duty by a low-life career criminal who had been in and out of jail since he was a teenager. The DA said that we didn't have enough evidence, and what little we did have was destroyed the night your lab and you were hit by the lightning. So, Billy Parks got to walk away. If I had these powers, then I could have found Billy and got justice for my brother. That sounds more like revenge, but this speed brings a new level to my abilities as a police officer. The bad guys will never outrun us again. That might be easy, but it wouldn't be right. If we're going to take down Black Hole, we need to do things by the book. You can't abuse these powers. You're still an officer of the law, August. You're telling me that you wouldn't have used your powers to save your mother? That's beep, beep, beep. Oh, hold on. It's Iris. Iris? Hey, Barry. Can you give me Detective Hart's number? You two are friends, right? I need to talk to him. It's for you. August? Hey, I had some questions for you about the Black Hole case, the Star Labs thing. Barry normally won't share info about his cases, but I was hoping I scratch your back, you scratch mine? Maybe? Great. I'm 3 blocks away on 4th Street. I'll be there in Iris West. Grab her. What? What? Room. Oh, I hate when it does this. Doesn't know how to do. There you go. Sorry. Continuing. Iris! What's happening? I don't know. I think Iris is being kidnapped. Where? She was walking on 4th Street. We got the reporter, Dr. Carver. Let me go. Good. Bring her to me. If Miss West has so many questions about Black Hole, she can ask us firsthand. Barry, wait! You picked the wrong person to kidnap. Tss. I'm coming with you. I'm glad you're learning how to run now, but no, I can help. Get off me! Crack. Observe and report only, August. You don't have to do this alone. Don't let her escape. She's not going anywhere. Oh, yeah? Watch me. We really have to stop meeting like this, Miss West. As if I needed your help. Never crosses my mind. Hey, watch her? Please and thanks. Whoosh. Dr. Carver, the Flash has saved the West woman and is coming for us. Even better. We wanted to test our new technology, and this is the perfect opportunity. Use the gun. A black van? Really? Did you get that right out of the Creepy Kidnapper's Handbook? Gah! I haven't felt pain like this since I faced the Black Racer. Screech! Do you enjoy having your own powers turned against you? What have you done? Did you really think it would be tolerated for you to keep the Speed Force to yourself? Not anymore, he doesn't. Whoosh. Where did this costume come from? No! It's too dangerous. Don't worry, Flash. I told you. I'm going to use my fists. Whoosh. That actually worked. I did it. Are you okay? It hurts, but August's speed force is connecting to mine. I can feel it, healing me. I'm all charged up again. Probably should keep the gun to study, but I can't risk them using it on me or August. Dr. Carver, there are 2 speedsters now. You are right. It's time. You have the right to remain silent. Was this the Speed Force's design? After Wally left to work with the Titans, I was feeling alone, overwhelmed, that I had to be in 2 places at once. I knew that I needed help. Thanks for the save, Flash. But do you really think those flatfoots could keep me away from the action? If Black Hole is coming after me, that must mean I'm close to a story. You should be careful, Iris. Did the Speed Force answer my wish? And, who are you supposed to be? I'm the Flash's partner. Partner? I like the sound of that. Rumble, rumble. When the older Wally was hit by lightning, I thought that maybe I called on the Speed Force to give him his powers. Is this happening now, or because of Wally's return, or because I missed having a partner? He's, new to town, Iris. I would have been here sooner to help, but I had to make a suit. Still working on my code name. Right. Rumble, rumble, rumble. I thought you weren't going to have a secret identity. Maybe you're just a good teacher, Flash. Nice suit. Now that we have a few more of the Black Hole agents in custody, we can... Wait, do you feel that? Rumble. Where did that storm come from? I don't know, but it looks just like the storm from yesterday. It's another Speed Force storm. The lightning is striking people in the street. Not just here, but all over Central City. Crack, crack, crack. I think the storm is passing. If the Speed Force thought I needed help, this isn't really what I had in mind. Looks like you have a lot more speedsters to train, Flash. Crazy. Oh, man. That's interesting to see where that's going to go. That is the end of book 2 and the end of the books we'll read tonight. We will be continuing, Tuesday? With books 3 and 4 on part 3. And hopefully you're coming along and join for the ride. Hopefully you're enjoying this. Feel free to put in comments what you're liking, what you're disliking. I love reading the comments. Let's see. Where was I in the comments anyway? Let's see. Wally lost his mother when the crime syndicate attacked and Iris had to adopt him. Wallace got his speed powers from a future version of himself that was dying. That's kind of weird that you got your powers from a speed-free version of yourself. But where did that version get his powers? That seems like a paradox. Because I read that in the wiki, and I was like, what? So the future version gave him his powers, but where did the future version get the powers? Obviously from the future version of his time and in his loop, so the powers never actually originated from anywhere? Or did they? Maybe because of the flashpoint. We'll never know what the true origin was. Yeah, the time paradoxes and things that at least the show operates. It seems like the comics can probably do it even worse. Can be a little bit frustrating, but also it's kind of fun too. I like time travel stories. I know it's sometimes have the time paradoxes. They're like, really? But whatever. I think time travel stuff is fun. Let's see. Arby says, "Oh God, I forgot about that. This took right before the comics Ash is reading." Let's see. I have a feeling that August will get corrupted by the Speed Force power, says Maranya. Jimmy says, "Are you gonna hop on Discord tonight, bro?" Bro. I might hop on for a short time. See, it's almost midnight. Yeah, it's still a little bit early. So, yeah, I think I will, actually. That'll help me so I can end this stream and not run on too long. Because I feel like my storytime streams go on too long. They should be like an hour and a half, and they tend to be like 2.5 hours. But I really hope you guys are enjoying watching them. I hope you're just enjoying hanging out. And just talking to everyone. I like seeing your thoughts and opinions about the stuff. Ed's probably playing Valheim right now. Let me check if Ed's playing Valheim. No, I don't see him unless he's hiding on Discord. Could be. Ed, are you playing? You're just listening to me. He doesn't play Valheim with me. It makes me sad. I got him hooked on the game and I never see him. He's like in a black hole. Melissa says, "I was making fun of Tom King." Well, aren't we always making fun of Tom King? That's how it goes. FF2 says, "Green Arrow by Mike Grell is on the top of my list of reads alongside some other books." Did you get to partake when I did Green Arrow not too long ago, FF2 on the channel here. I can't remember if you got to see it. And if you did, hopefully I did it some justice for you if it's one of your favorite books. I enjoyed it. It wasn't, it's no Dark Knight Returns, but what is? No, it was good though. Definitely can see why it's held up in such high regard. Ed says, "I'm at work." You're at work? Oh. Well, at least I can entertain you a little bit while you're at work. Hopefully. You're like, "My work is so terrible. I have to listen to Ash." Let's see. No, I don't know what I'm saying. "Read my Super Android 13 quote. It's funny." Your Super Android 13 quote. What are you talking? I don't know what you're talking about, Melissa. You're always sending me on a crazy, like, scavenger hunt to like understand what you're saying. I don't know. Anyways, should we end it here? Do we have anything else to talk about? I think I talked about everything that was on my mind. Are you guys gonna be watching Jupiter's Legacy coming out soon? That comes out, I think, May 5th, I want to say. It's soon. It's soon. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope they do. I don't care if the show is hyper accurate or not. I just want it to be good, right? Like The Boys is very different than the comic book, but it's good and I can enjoy it. I like Jupiter's Legacy. It's one of the best books I've read in some time, and it's the best Mark Millar book I've ever read. And even if they don't adapt it correctly, I just hope it's good. I want to see his stuff done justice, or just be good so he can do more stuff. So Netflix will keep giving him money and keep adapting his other projects and make those good. Let's see. Ed says, "I work Wednesday and Thursday, but we'll be working all of next week. I'm down to play, but no sense in co-oping a wood gathering mission. We can get a sea serpent when we can go out. No sense in co-oping a wood gathering mission." Well, yeah, you co-op just to hang out and talk and like, although it would be good to co-op and beat a boss. It's hard beating the bosses solo. I'm currently doing, this is for Ed's benefit because most of you guys are gonna be, "What are you talking about?" I'm currently doing swamp stuff right now. I'm trying to get prepped to get to the third boss, so I could use probably some help doing swamp, because swamp is dangerous, and looting all the swamp things and getting tools and stuff necessary. FF2 says, when are you going to do a criminal cast? That is a good question, FF2. We were supposed to do one yesterday, but some scheduling conflicts came up and different things. So we decided, since everyone couldn't make it, we were going to postpone it and do it this upcoming Wednesday. So the 28th, I believe, is the date. We'll be doing criminal cast, and we did a lot of talking after the last episode to try to brainstorm on how we can improve, taking some feedback and things. So hopefully the show is going to be better than ever. It's going to be Cruel Summer Part 2, final 3 books of the series. And then probably 2 weeks after that, we're going to do another criminal cast for Reckless, book 2, which is something Devil. I can't remember the name. It's the second Reckless book, which comes out also this coming up Wednesday, the 28th, at your local comic book store, or a week later at bookstores, depending on where you get books. I highly recommend you get those books. Get them. You've got time to get Cruel Summer if you don't already have it. Last I saw, it was $14.95 on Amazon, free 2-day shipping. You can get it, read it before we wrap up. It's a beautiful book. It's nice and thick, hardcover. I just sit there and hold it in my hands. It smells beautiful. It will be a prized edition on your bookshelf, and the kind of book you'll want to hand to people and say, read this. It's so amazing. It's only $14.95. MSRP is $24.95, which still is not bad for how big it is. And it's way better than so many of the comics. I went to the comic book store today. I only bought 3 books, and it cost me $11.95. I guess I should talk about that. I forgot to get a picture up. I bought 3 books. I got, what did I get here? Okay, I got Asagio Jimbo 19, Blade Runner, Origins number 3, and then I got the glow-in-the-dark version of Geiger. Oh, I'm looking at this cover closely now. This is cool. Okay, so the glow-in-the-dark cover of Geiger, I'll see if I can post pictures of this later. It has this face, like the Geiger, the main character, and he's like just wearing a hood. So he's like looking at you, like, and he's wearing a hood and stuff. But the glow in the dark stuff, if you like angle it in the light so you can see, is shaped like a skull. So that I know when I turn the lights off, instead of seeing his face, you'll see the skull. That's cool. So, get yourself that at your comic book store today. Jupiter's Legacy, did they bury the uncle, brother after son killed? Don't spoil stuff, Melissa. Stop it. Stop. Oh my God. Let's see. Ed says, me too. I can't get enough iron. I think I have enough, but I don't. Well, I haven't even gotten any iron yet. So, and my map is tough. Like the swamps. Anyways, I don't want to go too much about this. You guys will be all bored. I don't have enough swamps in my area, Ed. I'm really struggling. FSU says, before I sign out, can anyone recommend me a good indie book? Yeah. It depends. Are you looking for something to deep dive into? My favorite indie book right now is Ascender. It's currently, I think, on issue 14. So if you're okay on getting back issues or what have you, it's a fantastic book. It's like Star Wars-ish. If that interests you, if you like space fantasy, like Star Wars, and you like characters and their banter and adventures and things, then Ascender might be up your alley. Oblivion Song is a long ongoing book. That one's been going on for some time now, but I highly recommend that. That is a cerebral mystery about an alien world, but not in the normal way you think of. It's like another dimension that crosses over with our dimension. People go missing, and then what the hell's going on? And like every issue, it's like peeling back a layer of the onion. And it's an ensemble cast. It's written by Robert Kirkman, Walking Dead fame. So it has the ensemble cast of like Walking Dead. So lots of different characters, and all of them have different personalities and agendas and viewpoints and motivations and da-da-da-da. It's really fun, really plot driven. I like Oblivion Song. Firepower is a book we do on the Indie Comic Show. It's one of our featured books. That one is only like on issue 10. That's also Robert Kirkman. That one is a kung fu style. I mean, it's like a kung fu adventure book. If you've ever heard of the movie Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins, it's in the style of that, or movies like maybe Big Trouble Little China. It's fun. It's more lighthearted. It's not really as cerebral, but good story. I recommend it for people who like comics more in the style of like a Spider-Man, or like a lighthearted, fun, but with action. What else is a good comic? I've been big into some new comics. Nocterra just started. It's only on issue 2. That's Scott Snyder's new book, and with artist Tony S. Daniel. Nocterra is a book about the world. All of a sudden, one day, the world goes dark, but it's not because like the sun goes away or it's like forever night. They don't understand why the world is dark. Presumably, it's probably something like King in Black, I guess. But not with the symbiotes, but like anyways, the reason why the world is dark in King in Black is because symbiotes something is covering and making the world dark, and it's some sort of evil. So it has this little bit of horror to it. Might be up Jimmy's alley, actually. Jimmy, Nocterra might be up your alley, Jimmy. Let's see. And it's got Tony S. Daniel art. Yeah, here's the series. This is the cover I'm looking for, by the way, which I can't find. The Boss Logic. I love Boss Logic. Let's see, for 10 years, after the world is plunged into an everlasting night that turns all living creatures into monstrous shades, the only way to survive is to stay close to artificial light. Enter Valentina Val Riggs, a skilled ferryman who transports people and goods along deadly unlit roads with her heavily illuminated 18-wheeler. So she's kind of like a smuggler that transports stuff, but instead of smuggling against the law, it's smuggling against the evil that's out in the night. And there's never daylight, so there's no escape. Imagine living in a world of like vampires, except the sun never came up. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. It's fun. What other books? Usagi Yojimbo's really like old school style indie. That's an all-time great. Jimmy, of course, recommends Electric Sublime. I can't personally, I don't have experience enough to recommend that. Berserker is a cool book. It's more than just the hype. It's hyper violent. Let's see if do they have the third. I thought they were. There's some billion covers for Berserker. I recommend this book. It's a Keanu Reeves book, but it's written with Matt Kint, who's one of the best writers in comics right now. It's hyper violent. It's going to be made into an anime and a movie, starring Keanu, of course. And it has a good setup. The first issue is a good setup. Keanu essentially is the character's name is B, the letter B, and he's immortal, and he just wants to learn how to die. He can't die. He wants to die. And he works for the military to try to get them the help of the government. And it's better if you read it for yourself to see what's going on. Jimmy's taking off. All right, Jimmy, I thought you were going to hang out on Discord, but I guess you got to go. What else? What other indie books are out there? Geiger's a new one that just started. Jeff Johns' book. If you like Jeff Johns, Gary Frank from Doomsday Clock. That's a post-apocalyptic Mad Max style book, but with a character who's got some sort of radioactive powers. So hopefully, those are all probably worth checking out. You pick one that fits your cup of tea. And I'd be happy to go more in detail later, but obviously this is just a public stream. No one else wants to listen to me babble on forever, so I am going to take off. Hopefully FF2, I gave you something to chew on. Thank you guys for listening. Feel free to give your own suggestions to FF2. I'm definitely not the end-all be-all. And I hope I'll see you guys next Tuesday for the next episode. Take care.